Our root. Oh, yes. Is Madison, are you doing that? Okay. Hey, you know what? Let's talk about this too. So Madison, do you know how to upload that Google and your video and everything and get it?
Mm-hmm.
And you're okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. And then I guess we can discuss it now or later, but when we all put our input in, what date do you guys want to do it? Do you want to have it done quickly, like Wednesday, Thursday, and then Madison will know, or we can give her a thumbs up on the text and say, I've done my part, good to go. What day's good for everybody?
I'm trying to think.
Honestly, I'll probably do my part tonight. Just get it out of the way.
Then, okay, then just throw out your thumbs up, Hannah, and then, yep. Okay, Emily, what do you think? I mean,
Yeah, I can get it today.
okay.
Yeah.
And Madison, you just tell us when you feel like you can just review everything just one time, maybe through, we'll all do it, but one time through and then upload. Do you want to do it like Thursday, sometime Thursday? Gives us, or Thursday.
Yeah, I think so.
Thursday
I think that
night,
would be good.
Thursday night, and we're way ahead of the curve because I know the last couple of times I've been on a Thursday and we're finishing on Saturday, the day it's due. So we're way ahead. Okay, let's just shoot for Thursday night and we'll tell Elizabeth. Okay. All right. Did we have a discussion leader, really? Or should we just go around in a circle, kind of, and share?
Sometimes a little bit of the document, the Google Doc.
Uh-huh.
Let me see if I can figure out. It was letting me open it up on my phone, but not on my computer for some reason.
Okay, and your email was correct though when I send it to you?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to do mine on paper for a minute. You guys are, I'm sure, more techie and can do it while we're talking. But so I just wrote down like the key concepts and how it kind of gave us a structure of doing at least three, mentioning three key principles or something like that. So I'll start it and we'll just go around in a circle. So, well, the first one, because of war, the first thing that I thought of was the double ABCX. And to me, one of the salient points is this wasn't just one and done. These people, they endure it all the time, I mean, and so I think that's a really important thing if they were able to learn how to deal with it on one aspect, because it's going to come around again. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, the double ABCX. And then of course, I don't know if they see, this is the part I don't even know if they have it offered, but, and it sounds like they do, they did a study, but family counseling.
Oh yeah.
To be able to, and again, their religion or community or whatever they have to offer. And I don't know, what do you guys think another one would be to add to like the third one?
So I put mindfulness. I think I'm kind of like a huge fan of mindfulness. And I feel like the more, I'm trying to think the right word for it, like the more urgent or the bigger the stress is, I think the more important it is to like live in the moment. Just like it's important for this family to remember the son that they lost, and like everything that they've gone through. But I think it's also important for them to be more focused in the moment, and also like kind of being able to look forward and be like, this is not going to last forever.
Yeah, I agree. Appreciate what they have right now. And yeah, I don't know, that was really bothersome to me that the father lived, even had the son's picture digitally, and I kind of figured it out. It had to be at least 15 years, from 7 to say 22. I mean, that's 15 years. And then name another baby after the son. I can appreciate that. I mean, and a middle name might have not tweaked me as bad, but to name another baby the same, I just thought, oh, honey, you need to move on and just, not forget. You'll never forget, but yeah. Good. Okay, good. Anyone else have anything that could go on that section 1, maybe I should say it's the key concepts. You guys.
I put down family types maybe from the family typography.
Good.
Different
Okay.
characteristics. We don't have a lot of information, so I didn't apply anything specific to their family, but I think if they were to understand kind of how their family interacts with each other, it would help them understand how they could better deal with stress of the situation.
Oh, that's good. No, that's a good point. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's just go. Okay, Madison, you take charge of the next one. Let's see. Risks and dangers. I think that's our next one. At least 3 things. Okay, Madison, what did you put on yours?
Wow, I think I had 6 for this one. Yeah, I had 6.
Good, good. Perfect discussion leader. Okay.
So something I had, which we talked about a little bit, was like the pain of losing their son. Especially, like you said, like the father, and maybe both parents, but it seemed more like the father was having a hard time letting go. And so I think just the added stress of continuing to carry that burden with them, that's going to make it difficult for them to move forward. Another thing I noticed was the one son who was basically went up to his dad, was like, I want to get a gun and kill the Israelis. Like the other kids, they didn't really talk about their attitude towards, Israelis or people of other backgrounds, but I think that's a huge danger, especially if they don't continue to, if they decide that they do want to move somewhere safer, just the kids not being able to maybe assimilate into society, or just like having a very nationalistic attitude. I think that's a huge danger as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. That was concerning. Yeah. Okay. What are some of your others? And we'll just cross ours off because
Another thing I said was the father is like in very poor health, and he's also currently without a job. So that could be another layer of anxiety or finding difficulty coping within the family, of just having to deal with his health issues and also not having a steady income other than like what the brother was providing.
Right. Well, and I sensed maybe some depression too, not only his health, but just kind of discouragement.
Yeah.
And you mentioned his brother, providing some work for him, which was good, but wasn't there something with his brother too? Like he really, didn't his son get hurt? But like, how does he understand what I'm going through? I lost a son.
Yeah,
So
I think the brother had that too. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like a little bit. Oh, there she is. She's coming on. There we go. Good, Elizabeth. Good, Liz. You like to go by Liz.
Yeah.
Okay, we're just kind of hitting the second thing. We'll fill you in as we go and kind of, Okay, go ahead though, Madison. Is there anything else on that? We're talking about the dangers now, Liz.
So this kind of goes into like the relationship as well. The daughter who was like, they weren't super specific when they said like the daughter was receiving psychiatric care, if that meant like she was in a psychiatric hospital or she was just like having some sort of counseling. But I feel like she is in danger of like feeling very isolated from the family, especially if she is receiving care at another location.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah,
those
that,
are the main ones I had.
okay, perfect. I mean, okay, anybody have anything that maybe Madison missed on that you could see as a danger or?
Something that I said was kind of similar to what you mentioned before, Cecilia, that the little boy who is named after his deceased brother, he might grow up feeling like he's living in his shadow. And he might feel pressure to fulfill a lot of things that maybe his dad wanted his brother to fulfill. And that might not be what he wants, but he could feel a lot of pressure from that.
Okay, yep, that's true. And unmeaning, but that could happen, right? Okay, all right, let's okay, Emily, do you want to do the next one? Relevant opportunities.
Sure.
Okay.
Are we like writing these down at all, or like what's the?
Oh,
I
yeah,
missed that.
let's fill you in. So we're just each one kind of taking one of the rubric, I always say that wrong, and just going through, and then each one of us just adding and sharing to like what Madison just said, if you saw something that maybe she missed or something, and then we'll go through and each one of us take one or the one that we're talking about assigned, and then we'll just expound on it in that paragraph. And each one of them has like 3 or 2 that we have to make points. And then we decided on Thursday night, and then Madison will load it up, both the Zoom and the assignment, and we're done.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, okay. Okay, super easy. Okay, Emily, you're on.
The main thing I said for a relevant opportunity is that this family is living in a war country. And so they're constantly under the stress and worry that you never know when an attack will strike and if they'll lose a family member. So something I said was that the parents can set an example for their children by teaching them to find the balance of not being angry to the point where, like they said in the article, that the boy wanted to go buy a gun and go kill them. So not getting to that point, but also not just kind of letting it happen. They like taking that anger and turning it into a positive route by helping them learn how to stand up for themselves, but not get to that point that of killing.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. And then this one kind of goes along with that, but the struggles that this family is going through, a lot of them are from other people causing them their pain, and it can bring on a lot of anger and bitterness. But again, they can take that and turn it into something they can make a difference out of. So that's pretty much all I got for that.
Okay. Anybody want to add just off the top of their head? Because we need 3. We need 3 on this one. I mean, I think when you said like how they're going to approach everything and the bond that they can build within the family, I've heard this expression. You guys probably can help me. It's like, I'm not going to let them have the power to control my life. I mean, that's something you can take power of, and that's hard when you're a parent too, to I'm sure, I cannot even imagine, but make a bad situation or not worry the children when they can hear bombing at night and hiding in the stairwells. I just can't imagine. Come on, kids, let's all grab your blanket and pillow. Ugh. But I thought happiness, bond with the family. Well, the other thing I kind of thought too is, I mean, obviously there's some extended family, because he was working for his brother for a while. So obviously they're trying to take care of each other. So I don't know if that would fall into that category. But
yeah, that's something that I kind of mentioned too, is just, make sure that like, not only they keep spirits light for their own personal family, but just yeah, to help influence like their extended family that's helping, and also just the community, obviously in a very like difficult, dark time. But I also kind of mentioned like that, especially with the oldest, I think it was their oldest dying, right? I mean, regardless, with a member of the family,
Yeah,
getting killed by this, like that means like some of the other family members have to take on certain roles. And so just like increasing responsibility for some of the family members, especially with like, affecting kind of just the overall happiness of the family. And then, yeah, just growing closer through like, they're all going through something really scary together. And so just like making sure that they're, talking about their feelings and, their worries and struggles, and kind of like being there for each other.
yeah, I totally agree, Liz. It's a funny thing. I'm sure they think they'd never know if they're in the wrong place. I mean, that's it. And they might be here today and not tomorrow. No really act of theirs. How sad. I just, appreciate them every day because they may be gone tomorrow.
Mhm.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty deep. Okay. Okay, I think we've hit. Okay, whoever gets that one, have fun. Okay, and then any other ones? Hannah, did you have any to add to that one? Okay, if you do, I mean, we didn't talk about, okay, relationship considerations. Now this one, I think I put 2, because it says several, it didn't say specifically 2, but it did say marriage is always paramount, which we could put that at the top, but they didn't talk about the mother that much in this article. Actually, they didn't even mention her, I don't think. But okay, so who's next on the docket? Hannah, let's do that. All right, you're next in my row. I don't know. Relationship considerations, what would you put?
Okay, so I just put like the parent to child relationship and then the spousal relationship.
Okay.
So I mean, there's multiple relationships within the parent to child relationship because he has multiple children. So I don't know how we want to count that. But so I think so let's see what I read. See what I wrote. Yeah, so I specifically mentioned how the father seemed to put a lot of emphasis on the memory of their deceased son. And I mean, that can be a good thing to keep his memory in the house, keep his memory alive. But if he takes it too far, it could make the other children feel like they aren't loved as much. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just that he was loved more. So I think that's a relationship consideration, just to remember the other children are loved. I mentioned the I don't know. So if you read the article instead of listen to it, they mentioned at one point how sons are especially important
Yeah.
to their
Yeah.
to that I forgot the word,
Culture.
culture. There we go.
Yeah, culture. Yeah.
So I mentioned that that might make the daughters feel less loved. I mean, I don't know much about that culture or how they work that out. I'm sure that they are very loving towards all of their children, but I think that if there's a lot of talk about how if it had been a daughter, it would have been better, that would be horrible for the daughters to listen to. So just be very careful when they're talking about that. Just remember to make all the children feel loved.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then for the spousal relationship, I mentioned how, the loss of a child is difficult in any marriage. So making sure that the husband and wife spend time together, feel good about talking to each other about the grief that they're going through. But I also mentioned how the financial strain that they're going through could hurt their marriage with what they're going through. Just because the husband kind of, after that, their son died, he lost his job, and the family just keeps, get worse and worse pile up of stressors. And so that could put a strain on their marriage. And so that's all things to consider with that.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, they probably don't have much to start with anyway, right?
Right.
Goodness gracious. Okay. Yeah, that was great. Okay, Liz, are you ready? Recommendations to the family. We got to have at least 2 things.
Um,
Am I on Zoom there? Yeah.
oh, like the recommended coping strategies and stuff. Oh, right.
I think so. Yes, cope and respond to stressor events. Yeah. Recommendations to the family.
Okay. So a couple listed. So, just like, I mean, if you read the like, the study chapter, it kind of was also talking about this topic as well. And so specifically, like, they kind of talked about how because every single day is kind of a worry for people living in that area, like they don't feel like some of their personal daily struggles are like worthy of like talking about. And so like, obviously when they're feeling a little bit of grief from their son dying, like any of their kids could die today. And so like, they don't feel like they should be, talking about like the loss of their son at all times, or, whenever they feel like they're really struggling with it. And so coming up with like ways that they can like, just kind of talk about, times and places that they can talk about their feelings without getting too worried up or wrapped up in it. So like a safe space where they can talk about it, but also like setting guidelines and boundaries for those conversations so that they don't just keep like, burying themselves in all of this grief and all of this worry. And then I know like the things that help me the most, like with dealing with my feelings of grief, is like sharing memories of the person that you lost. And so yeah, just talking about that. And then obviously just talking about some of the other worries about their life in general, about the state of their, community and stuff. So those are pretty much what I had.
Yeah, you've mentioned some good things, because obviously a lot of people were dealing with the same thing, a loss of a spouse to a child to parents, the adult people losing their parents or caring for elderly people. That's what you guys they never talked about this when you're young. Then when you're 60 and all your parents are 80, oh, it's a whole new ballgame. Anyway, but yeah, just taking care of your elderly parents is, so that's good. Okay, anybody else maybe have something else that Liz can kind of put there in that section? Cope, respond to the stressor events. I just put, I think it's really important. I mean, we've talked about the anger of the son and of course injuries of the little boy. It looked like, that front picture of him with his little arm. I mean, obviously they took care of him, but the anger and the young lady, that their daughter who had started to have some mental issues, boy, they got to nip that at the bud, or it's just going to get worse into adulthood. And so the parent, I mean, it's hard to be a parent and have to be the strong one when you're struggling yourself, but they have to zoom in on those kids. They don't have anybody to help them. So yeah.
So
Wow.
one thing that I mentioned with the son who was very angry, I thought that for him, it might be helpful to get some peer influence where they were doing something good for the people who were getting hurt. So instead of like being focused on retaliation, he could channel that energy. And I think we mentioned it briefly before about turning that anger and putting it towards something good to help other people. And I think that could be a coping strategy. I think it would fit in this section as well.
Well, yeah, service, maybe for the whole family, right? But you're right. Yeah. That's especially good for maybe the daughter and the son who are struggling the very most to think of others. Yeah, boy, that is the truth. Good scripture we could add to that one, right? Okay, let's hey, we're screaming through this. How are we doing time wise? You guys, hey, I have to ask you guys, how many of you have taken that global Pakistan class that we have to take for history? Have several of you taken it and read that? And the book they suggest that we read is I Am Malala, the little girl from India. Anyway, this lesson is like, That's the whole, I called BYU, Idaho, and said, I don't want to take that class. I don't want to take it. I have no desire to know anything about that region. I hear enough about it on the news. I just don't. Well, you have to take it. But let me tell you, by the end of 14 weeks, I loved it. It was so interesting. And I was so naive. So I had no idea what was going on over there. And this few little articles we've read is just like, wow. Oh, who said something? Oh, okay. Anyway, don't be scared to take that class when they tell you you have to take it. Okay. Okay, so let's see, we're on to recommendations to others. Right? Is somebody looking at their screen? I'm just going by paper because I don't know how to split my screen like you guys probably know how to.
Mhm.
So let's see. Liz, you did the last one. So we should wrap around. Madison, do you want to take this one? Offer 2 suggestions regarding how extended family, neighbors, friends, etc. respond and could and should and to support the family. Am I on Zoom?
Yes, so
Okay.
so what I had for this was they didn't really go into detail about like how the extended family other than the uncle was helping. But I just basically said like continuing to provide that emotional support. And if it's possible, you know, help out financially. Because again, the father, he's not employed and he's going through like a lot of emotional issues, a lot of health issues. So I think just giving them that a little bit of financial support as well. I also put the community.
Good too.
I think service is a really good idea, like being part of the community, whatever kind of service is available. And also just like joining groups of like maybe people who are, you know, I'm trying to think of how to explain it. Kind of like almost like group therapy, just having that safe space where they can like talk about their stress and feel safe to just like be able to take that emotional baggage off.
I agree. Okay, that is good. Okay, anyone else want to add to that?
I mean, I kind of expounded more on like what that uncle, like the uncle could do. Like obviously he's helping them a lot already. And so he could also like, you know, kind of delegate some of the stuff that he's doing. So like he could maybe find other people in the community or like other family members who might be able to also, you know, provide some resources for the family, or just, you know, help take on some of the responsibilities, you know, like he could delegate maybe like more so that he doesn't have to take on as much or something. But he could also, you know, teach the kids to take on some of the, you know, because maybe with the dad's health problems, like he can't do as much. And so the kids maybe could kind of help in that area. And so, yeah, it just gives them more responsibility, and it helps the uncle so that he doesn't feel a lot of pressure, or the dad doesn't feel a lot of pressure. So,
You know, it always seems like there's always 1 or 2 people in a family that either can communicate really well or kind of help people through stuff, you know what I mean? Or give people ideas. You got to just have to assign them as the go-to people to just, but yeah, just somebody to just kind of delegate, like go do this and go do this. And, you know, maybe that seems like the brother, like you said, the brother in this family seems to have the strength a little bit more than, and, you know, I've always noticed too, when people are really stressed, their physical health seems to kind of not do as well. I guess that's the way to put it, not do as well. But okay, well hey, you guys, we kind of dreamed. We're getting to be trained professionals after 12 weeks, right? But I don't know what to call it. Other than happy day, happy day. Okay, did we hit all of them? Did anybody split their screen? Did we go over all of them? Or is the last one any additional resources?
Yeah, I think we're supposed to talk about the additional
Yeah.
resources.
Okay, let's see. Let's hit Emily and Hannah. You guys throw some ideas in there. Madison and Liz did that last one really good. Okay, what are some?
Something I wrote was, well, two things. So the first one is family councils can be an outlet for each member when they're going through the stressful situation. And it could help have an open line of communication instead of assuming what people may be going through. And it could also help the children remain calm with the chaos that's outside their home.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I said was practicing mindfulness and creating mood logs. So I don't know much about their culture, but so they might already practice mindfulness, which is great. But it would still help no matter what.
Yeah.
But doing that, they'd be able to sort through their distorted thoughts and become more aware of the choices that are available to them so that they can act and not just react to the stressful situation they're put in.
Good, good. We're act and not react. I like that. Yep. Wow. Okay, Hannah, anything else you want to? Because I'm 1, 2, 3. I don't think it matters, but just.
Well, I just mentioned that just judging based on the region that they're in, they're probably religious. A lot of people are religious in that area. So I think that they could turn to their religion, find solace and comfort in
Sure, I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah.
in their religion. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Well, and that's something I kind of mentioned as well, is like obviously our church has like aid for like people who are going through difficult. I know our church isn't super involved in that area just because it already is a religious, like a lot of the tension is based on religion, and so they don't need to put like their hand in, I mean they're trying, but they can do what they can, but yeah, just like maybe like their church in there like reaching out for that kind of aid as well, just from their own churches. And I think similar to like the group therapy and stuff, finding like stories of people in similar situations or even like in past wars, like finding stories about World War II and like some of the hope that people have found in those situations. I think something that I've, just learned in the interviews that we're doing for this class, like someone was saying that they do their research, to kind of help them in their situation, but they make sure they like pray about their research first so that they don't find any negative articles that make them feel worse about the situation, and that they only get uplifted by the research that they do,
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's interesting, Liz. That's a good point. Yeah, you guys are so good. I'm so glad you're all doing this when you're young. This is awesome. I only started this when we got put in the YSA. And I thought, oh, we had a lot of, members at home and take a class, and anyway, I got hooked. So that's why I'm still here 6 years later. I'm on the slow path. My kids had to do it in 4 years because we were paying for it. I mean, I'm paying for mine too, but just, they had to do it quickly. Okay, so if everybody kind of enjoyed just kind of doing their section and adding what we had done tonight, maybe just right here, we can put a little name by everybody's, and then let's just get her done. I did the first one, and then we went to Madison, Emily. Okay, does anybody have their Google Sheets open? They can just put our name kind of by it. We'll erase it. Mm-hmm. We'll erase it at the end, and I'll erase the top part that was just instructions, but I can do like number 2, and then 3 was Madison, 4 Emily. Am I doing this right? Going along here. 5 Hannah. Am I on Zoom here? Now I've got so many scribbles on my paper. Emily, and then we went Madison, Emily, Hannah, and then Liz. I think you jumped in right there, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
And then we kind of went back up to Madison. And you know what? Let's even write notes to each other if we need to, or we could text, but say, hey, did what was this comment, or can you help me add this to it? Because we need just to make sure we fill in our 3s and 2s. I don't know if he's a teacher that's a counter. Well, let's just make sure we hit at least that. And then honestly, Hannah, Liz, you kind of did those last one together, and Madison, you and Emily kind of did number 7 together. Am I thinking that right?
Yeah.
We all kind of are doing one, and then that last one, we can just kind of do it together. And really, truly, the little teeny story, the brief story, if you guys want to add something, take it away. I'm happy, do it. I just kind of did a little overview. So, well, happy day. Pretty soon we're going to be done. So where are all of you in your class? Like, are you a junior, senior, almost graduating? Madison, where are you at?
So I just became a junior this semester. So hopefully I'll be doing my internship in spring of 2023.
Go girl, that's fun. You're halfway through, passing it now. You're passing it. Good. Emily, how about you?
This is my last semester of classes. I just have an
Oh, wow.
internship left, but I have not been able to find one. I've been searching for a very long time and have been unsuccessful. So I don't know when I'll actually graduate. So
Oh, and
that's just stressful.
what are you going into? What is your
Yeah,
degree?
I'm going into marriage and family with an emphasis in human services.
Oh,
Wow. What kind of, I haven't even thought of this. What kind of internship were you kind of looking for?
Yeah, I was hoping to find something I'd want to work in, and what I was originally going for was adoption. So I've reached out to a few adoption agencies, but they're not currently looking for interns. So I guess we'll just see where this hunt gets me.
Wow. Well, now correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm out to lunch here, but one of my classes many moons ago in 160 or something like that, there was a teacher, and I found her. She's, I think, in Georgia. Can't tell you the city right now because I have it in my papers. Anyway, she does a class on family and marriage. And she goes through the dangest things. Like every week it's something. Like 1 week it's like how to buy a house, or like budgeting. And then she'll do all your budgets. And then she'll say how to buy a house, how to buy a car. And then she'll have like a lesson on marriage and a lesson on children, and like when you can have your first baby. just things like that all the way through. And I thought I had come up with that idea all by myself. I did. Somebody already said it. But I am hoping, now I know this is just a crazy idea. I am hoping that the local high school will let me do that they kind of have like a homeroom class for 20 minutes. And I don't know if this will even count. So I haven't even asked, but I'm hoping that I can go in and do some kind of internship at the high school.
Yeah.
And have the kids all do kind of a, like a weekly worksheet and work through it a little bit. Just if anything, just to kind of like think about this. This is a real budget in real life, and this is what you make. Are you going to be? I always used to tell my girls, "Are you going to be a Whopper fluffer, a Whopper flopper?" Or because you're going to spend the same amount of time, 8 hours. Do you want to do that, or do you want to make big bucks? They all went for the big bucks, and I'm happy for them. So, well, that's good. Well, worst case scenario, go to the local high school and see if that works. So Hannah,
Good idea.
where are you at in your education?
This is semester 7 for me. So I'm junior, senior-ish. I'll be graduating next fall. So I'll have 9
Good.
semesters.
Good for you. Holy, you guys are on the tail end of this thing. Okay, and how about you, Liz? Where are you at in your schooling?
I'm part-time school, so I won't graduate until the spring of 2023, but technically I'm just starting my senior year. So
You're just, yeah. And I'm turning the corner this semester. I'll start my senior year. One semester at a time, Liz. You know, and I've thought so many times working and oh my goodness, we all have so many responsibilities, but one semester at a time and you'll get done and don't quit. My second daughter told our last daughter, no man should stand in your way of getting that degree. Then I'm going to share with you the other flip to that is, and it's so sad, you just never know. And heavens forbid you ever have a death, your husband, or a disability. And then you are the provider. And the worst thing is divorce. I mean, what if you have to feed those babies? So you don't be a whopper flopper. Get your degrees. Are we still recording? Oh geez, he's gonna think I am nuts. Okay, you guys, we are.
He's just getting to know us.
This is the closest BYU can come to having a class, but it's okay. It's fun. I think, what have we had this 3 times? 3 times this semester. Oh geez, it's so fun. Well, hey, we're still 15 minutes. We're 15 minutes to go. Is there anything else anybody wants to share about the sad thing, you guys? And well, let's not talk politics. I'm just afraid it's going to happen again, unfortunately. But you know what? If you ever get the opportunity to go to Israel, it is the most beautiful place. You won't get a testimony of Israel, of being there, you know what I mean? But I tell you, it is just amazing. And probably the one thing I enjoyed the very, very most is when we went to Nazareth and saw all those, and there's not very many people, really, it's amazing. And so all those little kids running on the hillside and everything, and you look at their little faces and you think, you know, this is probably what Mary looked like. All these little girls, this is probably what she looked like. And then you'd see some little boys running around, you'd think, oh my gosh, this is, you know, we get these pictures Americanized, you know, of what Jesus looks like. And you look at those boys and you think, you know, this is what Jesus looked like. These are his people. And oh, I'd go back and again, and I wasn't scared, even though there was some scary situations, but it was amazing. It was amazing to walk in the city of David. And we went down this one little street. I don't know why I'm telling you this, but it's so amazing. We went down this one little street, and I thought, all I could think about was the woman just waiting for Jesus to walk by so she could touch his robe, you know, and people just, you know, all over on just on the walls and stuff, you know, just being able to get close enough to hear him talk. And I thought, oh my heck, this is where it all happened, you know. And I can't start talking about the Garden of Gethsemane or I'll start crying. So, okay, let's just say good luck. Let's all get done by Thursday, even if it's tonight. Let's just do a thumbs up on the phone so we know that Madison, bless your heart. Just when we get all done, just give us it's submitted. And I think he just wants us to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah, bounce each other ideas and make sure we've completed it. But okay, you guys have a fun evening. I got to go to another Zoom class. So we'll see you later.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Happy holidays, everyone.